Alright, Z fans, it's paint day. We're going to get this engine bay painted. It's going to be pretty tricky with all these contours and recesses, but got to be done. I'm going to do a little more paint work. I'll do the door jambs, rear hatch, and the taillight trim as well. So it should be nice to see the color on the car finally. Get everything prepped. Got a little more masking to do this morning. And yes, I'm painting it in my shop here, not in the paint booth. That's because we're just doing trim. Everything else will go in a booth when I paint the whole shell. But the plan here is to get the jams and engine bay done and then start hanging the suspension stuff, get it back to roller status so I can get it to a paint booth and do the exterior as a whole. So, we'll see what it looks like with some color on it here in a while. Well, here it is. Z-Car kit. Some assembly required. Just kidding. Got the paint on the car. All we're doing is jams and engine bay at this point. Lower rocker panels got paint as well, but the rest of the car is still waiting on getting the final touches on the bodywork. But the engine bay came out great. Really pleased with it. The finish and the color. This Oslo blue just looks right on the car to me. It's a nice vintage look. This rear panel is looking real good. Taillight conversion looks pretty natural there. Rear hatch jam is nice. So we got paint on all this stuff. Start putting the thing together and get it on wheels so I can roll it in and out of the shop and make room when I need to. There's plenty of other projects brewing, so. Alright, continuing the progress. All the suspension's mounted up. All these powder coated parts look pretty fine. There's Subi diff in there. Fuel pump bracket and so on. Got these parking brake cables online. Those are really nice. They fit really well and good quality, so I'm happy with those. I'm going to dip down and take a look here. Look at the underside. Now this driveline had to be shortened 4 inches to accommodate this C-Series transmission. The other thing we've got here is the Techno-Toy mount. I probably could have fabricated one, but this is simple bolt-in, plug-and-play bracket that really works nicely, so why not? A little bit of money, but really a nice result. And moving forward here, engine and transmission are all in, steering rack. Up there we can see our exhaust manifold and stuff. Then up here I've got my trigger for my distributor less ignition system. Things are very tight up here with this big fat radiator. I'm going to have to do a little bit of clearancing for the AC compressor. It's very tight. A little close for comfort there. But all this stuff went in very nicely. And we still haven't put the calipers on and stuff. Lots of stuff to put on yet and sort out, but good progress. So we'll get on with the top side here. We'll get the car down and have a look at the top side. Alright, here we are on top sides. Got our AC condenser in and our big fat radiator, which is really fat. So These are Mikuni flat slide carbs, new brake booster and clutch master. Those are just stuck in there just to check the size and what I've got for room to work with under here. Here you can see the cable linkage. I've talked about this before, but this is the setup that was on the car the previous owner way back, sometime probably in the 90s or 80s, put Weber downdraft carburetors on, and so they use this cable linkage, which looked really nice on the Mikunis, so I don't have to invent anything to make this work. It's kind of nice. Now, the clearance I was talking about earlier, that AC compressor is right there. And we're talking zero clearance, so I'm going to have to do something to make that happy. But things are moving along here. Getting the air conditioning tubing routed and just checking it out. I've still got to get the HVAC system into the dash, pedal box, all that stuff. Lots of work to do. So, but generally, pretty happy with the way things went in. Here's the coil pack for the distributorless ignition. Lots to do there too. I've got to mount the coil pack and get the brains of the thing working. Good system. I've used it several times. I really like it, so I can't say enough good about the guys at Autosport Labs that developed this system. It's really there's a little Mega Jolt controller they sell that ties into the factory Ford stuff and makes it all work. So here's the shifter sticking out. It's not in the stock location, but it's in the stock aperture. It's very vertical rather than being swept back. We may have to do something there to make that a little more accommodating. I'm not sure how it works with the seating position I'll be in, so we'll have to wait and see on all that. And of course, got a ton of work to do in here with the sound deadening. Got our pedal in there, but all of this has to get sound deadening on it before I can install things. So not my favorite thing to do, so I'm a little slow on that. Anyway, we'll get after it. All right, let's talk about these wheels real quick at the end of the video here. These are the wheels that were on the car when I got it, and they're almost certainly the wheels that were put on it when it was new at the dealer. They were very popular back in the 70s. This being a production date of 12/74, it almost certainly was sitting on the showroom floor in 1975. And these were all the rage back then. The only downside is, well, not the only, but big downside is they're only 14-inch. And it's kind of tough to get 14-inch tires. And the car could certainly use bigger tires and wheels. Just modernizing everything else, so why not the wheels too? So let's see what it looks like with a nice set of Panasports on it. Okay, here's the transition to Panasports. These are 16/7 with 205 tires. They're not very wide. My reasoning for that is that the car just isn't going to be that powerful that it needs 225s or even bigger. So I'd say the offset is 11, is a plus 11, and that was recommended by Z-Car Garage in California, and I have to say that it's just right. Oops, skip across here. They fill out the fender wells just right, not too wide, not too sucked in, and not too far out. They're just right. The guy knows what he's talking about. So these are Firestone Firehawk 500 Indy 500. Firestone could use a little more brevity in their tire names, I think. Anyway, they're bronze, and I think they'll go good with the blue. There we are. That's the wheel package.